completely slashed, and we kind of learned as we went along. And so knowing that our franchisees, our travel consultants, need lots of training and support in that first 6 months, we've put all of that infrastructure in place. And that mentor role I mentioned earlier, where we split the business up into 10 teams, has been absolutely invaluable. They absolutely love that whole concept because they know they've got someone who's there. We incentivize the mentors to help their team, so we pay them a small commission for doing that. So it doesn't come out of the franchisee's pocket, but it just means that the mentor is, financially incentivized to help the new recruit, and therefore they're willing to tell them everything, they do, because it's in their interest as well.
It's a commission-only business, so what's the average commission per sale? Are you able to come up with a figure?
Yeah, so the average sale in the UK is about £2,500 for a package holiday. So that's kind of like an industry stat. We get about 12.5% commission across the board as an average. But the average commission in our business is about £230. What we do, because we're all about transparency. So as a travel consultant, our travel consultants get access to all of the tour operators. They see the commission list and they do everything, John. So it's not like they have to come to us and say, can I do this or can I do that? They do it all. They're in complete control. So they're the ones that set the margins and see the commissions and everything else. So everything's absolutely transparent. And then so they know the commission that they're earning, before they even take the booking. And then that commission is split with them, up to 70%. But there are a couple of companies out there that say you get 70% of the profit, not the commission, which again, for me, is not transparent, because what does that mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to take costs out now, or how do I know what those costs are, or whatever? So, we don't like that. So ours is literally, you get up to 70%, between 50 and 70%, depending on how you join or how well you're doing. And so everybody is absolutely crystal clear on what they're getting.
There's two fun things about being a travel agent. The first one is a conference. Do you do a conference for your members, or do you have a separate one, or are you piggybacking on the big organisations?
No. So we did our first one last year in November. So we billed it as a conference and Christmas party. So we had 100 of our franchisees attend. We had a great conference. We had a couple of guest speakers there. We had about 3 different trade tour operators there as well. We surprised them. We got a comedian and some singing waiters, this kind of duo in the evening, some entertainment and stuff. So it was a really fun event. This year we've planned the same again for November, but we've done so much this year that we had to have a kind of a mini conference in May, because we completely rebranded our organization, because our initial branding and logo and messaging was created in 2001. And because we're growing at such a pace and so many good things are happening, we completely rebranded. We relaunched our live bookable website. So we had to have a conference in May. So we had about 130 people come to that. And previous to that, in about March time, the chairman of the consortium that were with this near £1 billion company had called Steve and I in just for a chat and an update, and probably just to see what we're doing and how come we're the fastest growing in their independence group. So he kind of, we went in and had a great chat and, got on really great. And he basically said, I don't normally do this, but, I'm more than happy to come to your conference. So he was the guest speaker at our conference, which went down, fantastic with all our franchisees. So not only do we not piggyback on theirs, we have our own, but we've had to have 2 this year because of the growth.
The other fun thing about being a travel agent is fam trips. Are your franchisees eligible to apply for fam trips?
Well, this is a bone of contention for Steve and I, because, nowadays we believe in kind of a collaborative spirit in our business. We don't say one franchisee is not allowed to talk to another or anything like that. we have a main group Facebook forum where every franchisee is in. So there's so much sharing of information and everything else. But all we ever see is people on fam trips and education trips. So me and Steve, I'm home based in Liverpool. I have an office in my garden, and Steve works at the corporate office with all the staff. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting here, and all pops up as, pictures of pina coladas in St. Lucia or Mauritius or Sandals or wherever they go. So, yeah, it's good on them. There's as you know, there's different things you can earn those trips by productivity. You can win them. That we get them gifted to us as a company again because of our growth figures and everything. So we'll run little competitions and incentives and what have you. People are on them all the time, believe me.
You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com.
Hello, it's Roy. Yeah, we're on the ferry. We should be in Spain tomorrow afternoon.
Well, be careful. Lots of crooks on the roads out here.
Crooks? You know where I grew up.
This is different. They target British registered vehicles.
Yeah, they used to do that round my way.
I'm serious. They'll tell you there's something wrong with your car, so you pull over, then they rob you. Or they distract you at a motorway stop. They target hire cars, too.
Hire cars?
Yeah, well, they're driven by tourists.
Oh, OK, I'll watch out.
Good. So, looking forward to the drive down?
Yeah, well, I was.
Thieves in Spain have been targeting hire cars and UK-registered vehicles, so be extra careful on the roads. For details, visit gov.uk and search for Living in Spain.
Checking it out before you check in on the John Guinn Travel Show on UKHealthRadio.com. At the moment, I'm talking about how to become a travel agent for your new career move. Perhaps you fancy doing it after being on holiday this August, July, August, and you want to do it for a living because you enjoyed planning your own trip. There are drawbacks, which we're going to go on to in a second, but in the last section, I said fam trips, but I didn't explain what a fam trip is, which is very bad of me. It's a familiarisation trip, so tour companies may take travel agents who hit certain targets away to have a look at a chain of hotels. I've never went on a tour operator's one, but I went on a tourist board one. So the Cayman Islands tourist board took me to the Cayman Islands, obviously. And it sounds great, but it is actually a lot of hard work during the day because you get bussed around the island to seeing all the different hotels, so you get a chance to see what they are. So when you come to recommending hotels, you have some first-hand experience. And I did one for the British Virgin Islands, which was different to the others because it was just me. I didn't have to go around on a bus all day with other travel agents. I could take my wife along with me too. And all I had to do was spend half an hour with a representative of the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board. And I was then over there for 5 days. So that's what a familiarisation trip is. And also being a travel agent, you can get heavily discounted trips to hotels because they realise that if you've experienced the hotel, you're more likely to be able to sell the hotel to your customers because you know what it's all about. There's one particular chain, I used to make a lot of use of the discounted trip to their chain, but not once did I send one of my customers there because basically the hotel was good for the price I paid, but if I was paying the price that one of my customers had to pay, I would have been very unhappy. So as well as finding places to recommend to your customers, these fam trips also help you to make sure you don't recommend the wrong place to your customers. So that's what a fam trip is. So I said about the bad part, and the bad part is mistakes. Mistakes can be extremely expensive to put right. I made an expensive one, £750, and all I did was I put the surname and first name the wrong way round. And the airline would not budge to change the names, to swap them round. I had to cancel the tickets and buy new ones at my own expense. So that's the next bit. We've done the fun bit, but what happens if you make an expensive error? How does a travel franchise help you out then? You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com.
So the reality is it's the franchisee, it's their business. Mm-hmm. So if they make a mistake, they are responsible for that mistake. Now, the beauty of our business is because we do all of the admin, every booking is checked 3 times. Mm-hmm. So we do catch a lot of those kind of mistakes that happen. So there's not many. But we're not there as a responsibility. So if we don't catch it, there is still the responsibility of the franchisee, rather than us, because we can't be paying out 70% commission plus paying the mentor plus the buying group. So we only get a small percentage of the commission. We can't be then the insurance policy for everybody as well. But it doesn't happen a lot, John, believe me. It's, you know, today's day and age with all of the systems and the cross-checks and everything else, it doesn't happen that often. And even when it does, we do, even though our company line, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but our company line is, you know, it's the agent's responsibility. We end up paying it most of the time, or doing half and half with them or something. But the reality is, yeah, it is their responsibility.
You would have caught my big one. I put the surname and first name the wrong way round on the flight ticket.
Yeah, so
you would have found that.
Well, that's the beauty, you know, because obviously if you have to do your own bookings and ticketing and admin and everything, then it's all about focus. And sometimes you're just in a rush and you just miss these things where, you know, we have this saying in our business. It's funny how, you know, you never have the time to do it properly, but you've always got the time to do it. You've always got the time to do it again when you've got to fix it.
Yeah.
So just, you know, do it right first time, basically. And that, as I said, that's why we have this process in place. And, you know, we, with our buying group, one of the things when we went and met with them, it's like we barely ever kind of get in touch with them because there's never any problems. You know, we are the opposite of the squeaky wheel. You know, they just don't hear from us. You know, because there's never issues. We never have to, you know, ask them for stuff or anything. We're completely self-sufficient, which is why we were kind of, you know, invited in to go and meet with them.
So if somebody's interested after hearing our conversation about it, is there any way they can experience what you do support-wise and how people get on before actually signing up?
No, it's difficult to kind of to do that really, John. What happens is this is a real compliment as well, I believe. I'm the only person in our business who deals with recruitment, and I don't make outbound phone calls. So when someone, you know, makes an inquiry, the last thing they're going to do is get badgered by me, you know, rang every night and pestered and what have you. We have a process where we have a 45-minute first look video, which explains the concept of the business. If people like that, my home phone number's at the end of the video. They give me a call. Literally all I'm doing is checking affordability with them, because there's no point in sharing all the rest of the information if they can't afford to join. I then share with them the URL for the second video, which is a 30-minute video, which is the detail now, how it actually works. You know, we have things like a money-back challenge, whereas if they do a set amount of sales in their first year, we give them 100% of their franchise fee back. So the franchise cost is free, you know, it costs nothing. So that's explained properly. We have an affiliate program called Partners in Travel, where the biggest thing when people are joining us, John, everyone who's genuinely open and looking for a travel business, they love ours. You know, they love the whole presentation and the whole feel of everything. So their two concerns are, you know, are you going to be there when I pay? You know, are you just trying to flog me a franchise, or are you going to be my business partner? So that gets addressed very quickly and easily with our Millionaires Retreat and all of the post kind of joining things that we do. And then the second question is, can I find the customers? Will I be able to find enough customers? And so our affiliate program, where they partner with companies or organizations or charities, or maybe even organizations like yourself, where you have a listener base, you know, connections, our franchisee becomes their official travel agent. That company or organization or school or charity gets a website, a branded website, and then promote our franchisee to their fan base or database or customers, wherever it be, and we pay them a commission, a percentage of the commission for doing that. So again, that's the biggest thing that makes people join our business. It's completely unique. As I said at the beginning, we wanted to be, you know, innovative and unique. And we've got companies now that have joined us, like Sainsbury's and London University, the Royal British